Welcome to the show. Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody. Well,
Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was cool, right?
that was really cool.
Sati, honey, so good to see you. We're back.
We're back.
Back.
We're
Back.
back. We
Not
are
on crack.
ready.
We're back.
know?
Not on crack.
It's all about the celebration of life and peeps and all the people that are joining us today. And we are going to have some fun, and we are going to provide some incredible facts, maybe some things about these childhood stories, guys, that you never noticed when you watched them as a kid, or even when you watch them maybe as an adult with your own children. But it's cray cray. Are you ready for
It
some
is cray cray. Let's say hello to some people. We have peeps because we are multi-streaming. We're on Mindfork, we're on Cosmic Carousel, and we are on Calling All Beings, our cabbie friends. I'm a part-time cabber. There's DJ. DJ's backstage. Hey, DJ. He's like, I just saw him pop up. It's so good to see you. Let me know if you want to pop in, DJ. I'm like yelling like he's in the back room. Hey, DJ.
Hey,
Let me know if you want to
DJ.
pop in, DJ. Knock on the wall. I'll let you. Hello. I'm in Goofy Land. I'm having a bad ADD day. So brace yourselves, peeps. So I see DJ back there, but he's like in a fog. Do you see? Oh, you don't get to see the backstage people. I see DJ in a fog. Let me know if you want to pop in, DJ. So let me say hello to friends.
Let's do it.
Ruthie Robles is in the house. Georgie, curious George. How are you doing, Georgers? Georgers, that's my new nickname for you, Georgers. I'm going to just start making up nicknames. Sweetly Morbid Bear was here earlier. You're still watching. And Marcelito. Hi, Marcel. Yes, buddy. Hold on. I wanna turn on some ambience music. We need some ambience. Hold on. Let me see. Before I'm gonna continue to say hello. I just want it to be like, I don't know if you can even hear this. It's low. There we go.
Yep.
There we go. So Marcel's in the house. You're like romper room. I'm gonna go find people.
Rompity stompity.
And I see, hold on. I saw DJ and there's Ruthie again. Ruthie is super hyper. She's going to be all over the place because that's how she rolls.
Ruthie is in the right place.
Yes, she is. And there is DJ, my friend, calling all beings. So good to see you. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to keep saying hello as people pop in. I hope you guys enjoyed that video because those are the stories. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Yes. I would also like to say hello to Richard and to Sharon.
Where did Richard go?
Well, thank you guys for being here. So excited.
Miss you. Hold on, I'm trying to find them. I'm having issues today. Brain issues. That's why I study the brain. And I was thinking as we were prepping for this.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Is that Sharon? Sharon! Wanderer or Boundless Love. So good to see you. And I saw Richard earlier, and now I can't find him. Richard, say hi again so I can say hi. Anyway, Richard. But I was thinking about, I've been thinking about the brain so much. We had those sessions that we talked about, like how we're being peppered with messaging, right? In all kinds of hidden, little things that kind of play with your head. And this also fits so well because there's Richard. Yes, I'll pop. This fits so well because this is about programming. This show is really about programming. We never think about, good to see you, Richard. We don't think about enough of what we consume and what it's doing on a long term, right? It's like when it's actually being embedded in your head, especially as children. La wifey, she's one of our, oh my gosh, she's one of our Cabby mods, just like Ruthie. So good to see you, La wifey. So good to see you.
Thank you for being here.
So we've been programmed for a long time, haven't we?
Oh, we surely have. It's been a really, really long time. For a couple of thousand years, it's been going. But since the JFK assassination, that's when we really got hit and were taken down into a different path, which everybody was used to being on. It's like a totally different place in the universe at this stage in time.
Yeah, it's and I would say that it goes actually back to 47 and back to when the CIA was created. And we loop it back to the UFO, the UFO era at the time. Hi, Darkest Side is in the house. Hold on. I'm going to continue to say hello to people. I like Zen music. I need Zen. I need more Zen in my life. Sounds like a movie line. It's like, I need more, I can't remember. It's from The Holiday. So good to see you. Oh my God, we got more friends. That's me. Lulu, what a cute picture.
Hello, I love it.
Picture.
Oh my gosh, Lulu, you always have the greatest icons for yourself. Yes. I love it. Welcome in.
Come in. So we're going to be going through 8 stories today. And this is actually just an announcement. This is a series. So we're going to be announcing later the next episode. So if you did not see your favorite story covered today, don't worry. There might be an opportunity. And we're always open for suggestions. So as you go through, bring up the story that you would want to be, see covered at some point, as you kind of, digest what we're about to present. Because
Absolutely.
We got some really good ones, right?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
You know what? You took the words right out of my mouth, Chris, because I was going to suggest to the chat, everybody that's here with us today, send us what you want to know about too, as far as the children's stories or nursery rhymes or things like that, because we're doing a really deep dive and finding a lot of incredible hidden symbology. So we are definitely open to suggestions. We have already a list a mile long, but I am welcome to suggestions to add to the list if it's not already on the list. So we'll be doing once a month for these shows in this series, and we got lots of other stuff we're going to be doing too that we'll talk about later.
So excited. I'm so excited. And we're doing Calling All Beings now. This is a great time because I'm seeing a lot of collaboration. I don't know about you. I think it's a year of karma. So I'm feeling good. I'm starting to feel like the pendulum is swinging. It's like,
Yeah.
things need to kind of stabilize. And Ruthie B, and then she's got Beauty and the Beast, one of my favorite. That's going to definitely make it to the list because we have a lot, we have some others like that. We got a lot of Disney in the next episode. So,
Yes.
okay. So, without further ado, should we get started, darling? Do we want to start
Oh,
with our first?
let's do it.
Take you guys to Red. I love Red. Red's
You
got
know,
attitude. Red is awesome. Mhm.
every time I think of this, I think of that song. Hey there, little Red Riding
Red.
Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Wow.
And here you get music and you get singing, impromptu singing and dancing. I tried to lip sync, but I had no idea what she was about to say. So my lip sync, I would have probably been sashayed away if RuPaul was here, but it's going to be my first RuPaul drop because I'm obsessed with RuPaul. So let's get going. So our Sati will be presenting. We're going to take turns presenting our lovely stories. And to present Little Red is Sati.
Da, 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 da. Hey there, Eric. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Is that your Eric?
Yep, it's Eric.
Eric! You're
Yeah.
Eric. Like you
Okay.
belong to Sati. I didn't mean it that way. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. It's all good. Okay, so you guys see the beautiful image we have here. We've got the different symbology. So I'm going to read what I need to read. I'm going to share with you the positive things that are takeaways of this story. And then I'm getting into the hidden symbology of this story and things that maybe you did not notice. So this story is actually an ancient European oral folk tale passed down for centuries before being written down by Charles Perrault in the 1600s and the Brothers Grimm then in the 1800s. This story has evolved over hundreds of years, and its layers of meaning are so very deep and close to the bone. So there is a great deal of hidden wisdom throughout this story, as well as in many incredible warning signs. So the positive messaging that I think is coming out of this story, at its core, Little Red Riding Hood was designed as a classic cautionary tale to teach children, especially young girls, vital life skills. So the importance of intuition and vigilance comes into play here as well, where Red Riding Hood's biggest mistake is being too trusting. That's my mistake in life too. I'm an empath, always very trusting. So she stops to chat with the wolf and gives away her destination, doesn't she? So the story serves as a powerful reminder to pay attention to your gut, your intuition. I talk about this all the time, guys. Plug into your intuition. It's the biggest brain in your body. And so we recognize in this the red flags if we pay attention to our gut and intuition, and understand that not everyone who speaks kindly to you has good intention, right? We really, especially in today, like what we're going through now, we've got to be very, very head on a swivel, conscientious and cognizant of our surroundings. So we have the value, though, of parental wisdom in this story. And the story kicks off with Red's mother explicitly telling her to stay on the path and not to wander into the woods. The narrative proves that parental rules aren't actually meant to restrict your freedom, but to protect children from dangers that they aren't yet mature enough to handle. The power of community and protection we see coming up in this show. And in the Incredible Grimm's version, Red is not entirely hopeless. She is ultimately saved by the woodcutter, or the huntsman, and it highlights the comforting message that when vulnerable members of a community are targeted by predators, protective figures will step forward to restore justice and safety. I also like to think of it as maybe the woodcutter and huntsman in this story was her guardian angel. And because we all have angels and guides that protect us too. So that's kind of my takeaway, the angels and guides. And we come to, we must all as humans, and it shows in this story, we must learn from our mistakes, because we don't learn, grow, and evolve if we don't learn from when we've fallen on our face or done something that wasn't really in alignment. So after being rescued from the wolf's belly, Red Riding Hood famously declares that she will never wander off the path again. And it's a wonderful lesson in accountability and personal growth, showing that even a traumatic event can be flipped into lifelong wisdom. So that's the positive take, guys, on this incredible story. Pay attention to some of the hidden symbology angles of this that I found in my watching of this movie and in my research. So because this story deals with a young girl and a predatory beast and a crimson cloak, psychologists, occultists, and alternative historians view Little Red Riding Hood as a deeply symbolic blueprint for human biology, for secret societies, and for astronomical cycles. The red cloak is an esoteric marker. Think about that. In occult and alchemical symbology, the color red is incredibly potent. Theorists and psychologists like Carl Jung point out that the crimson hood represents the onset of puberty, menstruation, and the transition from childhood innocence to fertile womanhood. Esoterically, the red cloak is also viewed as a marker for a chosen initiate, someone marked out of the rest of the mundane world to undergo a severe spiritual test. Well, some of us know about these tests because some of us were born with a bullseye on our back and have been targeted individuals our whole lives. And so that really hit home for me when I read that and saw that in my research. We also have the wolf as a devouring ego. So as many of you that have listened to me before, you know that my definition of ego is edging God out. So this is where what we see within the wolf, okay? Or the beast within. We can look at it that way. So in hidden symbology, the big bad wolf isn't just a literal animal. He represents the raw, animalistic, predatory nature of the human shadow. He is the ultimate deceiver, and he uses speech, logic, and a physical disguise, grandma's clothing, to mask his true predatory intent. Theorists view this as a warning about the hidden wolves in sheep's clothing. I think we all know some of these people or have come across them in our lives, who run societal institutions, and they're hiding their destructive appetites behind masks of respectability. We also have the solar eclipse metaphor in this story. Mythologists offer a fascinating astronomical interpretation, with Red Riding Hood representing the sun, bright, warm, and dressed in red and gold, while the wolf represents darkness or a solar eclipse. The wolf swallowing Red Riding Hood is the ancient explanation for the sun disappearing into the mouth of darkness, and the woodcutter cutting the wolf open to release her represents the dawn of a new day or the return to light, right? We can return to the light after we go through the dark night of the soul, the shadow. And then lastly, we have in this movie the ritualistic death and then rebirth. So that's important. Being swallowed alive by the wolf and then emerging completely unharmed is heavily analyzed by esoteric researchers as a classic mystery school initiation ritual. In ancient secret societies, an initiate had to symbolically die, be consumed by darkness, the grave, or a beast, and spend time in total isolation before being reborn into a higher state of consciousness. Well, this is what we're all striving for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. So Red goes into the wolf as a naive child, but emerges with her eyes wide opened to the dangers of the world. For me personally, it's kind of wild to think that this simple story told to keep children from wandering into the woods actually carries the weight of ancient human psychology and solar myths. And that is what I have for Little Red Riding Hood.
That is a trip. Like, this makes me want to learn more about. This is a Brothers Grimm also, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Brothers Grimm is going to be all over,
Yes.
lots of these stories. But it's so interesting because there's definitely that programming of guilt trip, right? You went against your mother's wishes, and that is ego. And you're wearing the red cape, which the red cape is got, all kinds of occult, references. And, so it cracks me up to see how much planning, in my opinion, went into all these stories as they were being written. Because this is for kids. He got swallowed by a wolf. Okay, I know it was different times, right? It's different times. But still, it's like, there's kids saw these stories. I went to see The Godfather at age 6. That's just different times. My parents took me. But still, it's like, these are the kids' tales, and you'll see this all over. We're going to talk about Snow White here in a few minutes. And it's like the same thing. It's like, from young archetypes being represented to, you're going to see a lot of subconscious references, right? People that, where do they go when they go to sleep? And they're not, and not in this world, So oh my God, what a surprise. Rich New Design is here. And when I go way back, and he's actually the author of Mind Fork, Wheel of Topics. That song is this guy right here. And yes, so it's so good to see you, my friend. So it supports the patriarchy. You need a big, strong man with an axe to save the day. Exactly. From the savior themes, there's always the innocent has to be saved by somebody else. Although Hansel and Gretel is a little bit of an exception. And when we get there, we're going to talk about those guys. But I can't get over the fact that the wolf ate the girl and that the hunter got her out. It's like, yeah, were kids ready for this? Obviously not. So hold on, Ben has something. And if you guys have questions, please put them in all up, or we'd love to bring them up. Benny, our friend Benny. Chris, most, if not all, of the nursery rhymes and old stories have a dark history.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's what makes this series so great because you don't like run out of topics, right? Ruthie says, "Yeah, the poor girl, damsel in distress." Who needs the big tough man to save her? The programming of inner misogyny, in my opinion, absolutely. That's why I was actually surprised at Hansel and Gretel. When we get to Hansel and Gretel, that one is in I would love, I want to kind of go deeper on that one. I haven't had time, but it's like there's something about that story that's different. But I love this story.
Yes. Yeah.
Anybody? Yeah. And anything else you got on this? I mean,
Well,
the
like
bed. I love the bed vulnerability turned into a trap.
right?
Bed's a trap.
I know, right? And the fact that she, to me, is an empath and she just was so trusting. And I've made that mistake many times in my life because I prefer to trust first. And then if something doesn't go right, then But it also opens your heart up to get really disappointed at times too. Because we just try, at least I do, I try to see and find the good in everyone. So I'm hoping that they're trying to do that too, but it doesn't always work that way.
It always worked that way. And I mean, in this particular day and age, it seems like tolerance is optional, and being an empath is like kind of a weakness. And I call BS on that.
Yes.
For a different show and another topic, because we'll get there eventually. Anything else on Red? I love Red. I love the imagery of Red. I love the fact that she stood out. I'm like a red, it's like, how much more attention could she have gotten?
Well, and
could have worn neon yellow.
Yes. And the thing is too, is this story is going to come up in our series later through another movie. And I'm not going to tell you the movie, but it was done based on Little Red Riding Hood. And there's some really crazy twists to it. So we will discuss this one down the road as well.
Down the road.
I'm very excited about that.
Rich new design. Being an empath can truly suck. Yeah, I'm going to say ditto on that.
Yes.
Rich new design, which, by the way, fun fact, his name's not even Rich, it's Wes. But I'm still going to call him Rich forever. It's Rich new design. So go check out his channel, you guys. He does have a YouTube channel, and he is awesome. He's just so much fun. It's just so much fun to hang out with. We used to do Lee's first floor audio, and we were there on a weekly party. We would do we would butt dance. I had our chairs just I'd be like really sore by the end of the evening. And that just sounded bad when I said it. But that's what my brain comes up with. Truth be told, my name is Richard, so both work. Oh, you see, I didn't know that. Another fun fact. Okay, should we go to the next story?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are going to love this. Because this was Disney's Snow White. I will now present Snow White. One of my favorites. Who didn't sing Gonna Whistle While You Work? I love to sing Gonna Whistle While You Work. It's like I see the birds. I live in the country. Now I see the birds. And I'm like, this was what Snow White was supposed to be. However, there's two sides to that story as well. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, released in 1937, so that's 10 years before UFO. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was Walt Disney's Folly, the first full-length animated feature in history. So think about how much went into this. You're about to feed a bunch of kids a story. And it's like the biggest story they're going to see, and this is going to last forever. You're going to pack it with themes, right? Everyone thought it would ruin him. However, it became a cultural milestone. This story is based on a centuries-old Brothers Grimm. We're going to have to do a show on those guys. Fairy tale. It is completely saturated with deep archetypal and young. Mythology. There's much light in this film, and when we peel back the layers like an onion, we can examine the heavy occult symbology that theorists love to discuss. We have theorists in the room, don't we? Yeah, we love to theorize. So, okay, so let's talk about the positive side. The things that, the more overt messaging behind the story. On a human level, Snow White is a beautiful meditation on inner beauty, work ethic, and the power of a pure heart. She was so innocent. She did so much. Of course, she didn't have to do much because all the animals did all the cleaning. We're going to talk about that, Benny. Hold on. Okay. So, inner beauty outshines outer vanity. The evil queen is obsessed with physical perfection. But her vanity makes her ugly, bitter, and murderous. Because you can try to be pretty on the outside, but if you're ugly on the inside, doesn't matter how pretty you are out there. Snow White, on the other hand, possesses a beauty that radiates from her kindness, her love for animals, and her gentle spirit. So very connected to the earth, this one. The movie teaches that true beauty is a reflection of the soul, the dignity of work and optimism. Big theme. When Snow White finds the messy cottage, she doesn't sit around feeling sorry for herself. She could have sat there and be like, oh, it sucks. No, she didn't. She actually rolls up her sleeves and sings Whistle While You Work, a theme that still I do. So I was properly programmed, obviously. So the film's champions the idea that a positive attitude and a good work ethic can transform a drab, chaotic environment into a sanctuary of peace. Yes. To which I say, I don't think so. Hospitality and symbiosis. The relationship between Snow White and the dwarfs is a beautiful picture of mutual care. She provides them with a warm, clean home and emotional nurturing. They provide her with physical protection and companionship. It celebrates the power of community and looking out for one another. The ultimate defeat of jealousy. This is still in the positive. So the queen's jealousy literally consumes her. So it's bad to be jealous, right? Driving her to transform into a hideous hag and ultimately leading to her destruction when she is struck by lightning and falls from a cliff. Again, a kid's story, people. How many cliff dives do you see in a story today? I have to do the head. Okay. Yeah. So this movie sends a clear message. Envy is a self-destructive poison. So that apple is envy. Mm-hmm. It's full of envy. Which, envy is horrible. So those themes are true. But here comes the dark side. The dark side of the moon. Oh, how did that change? Hold on. How did that change? Hold on a second. There we go.
That was...
Camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two. The hidden symbology. Snow White is arguably the most symbolically complex film Disney ever produced. It is viewed as an allegory for the descent of the human soul into a material world. So let's talk about the magic mirror. Magic mirror. So that's like an affirmation machine, man. It's like she would just ask it, who's the fairest? Who's the fairest? Who's the fairest? I just want to know that I'm pretty. That is all I want to know. Who is, okay, that's you. I'm like, who is chatting on my behalf? That's right, that's you. Sorry. So here we go. The magic mirror is a classic esoteric symbol. It represents the anima mundi, the soul of the world, or a dark form of divination known as scrying. In conspiratorial circles, the face in the mirror represents a detached, demonic entity, or a manifestation of the queen's own fractured narcissistic ego that constantly demands external validation. It's like you just can't stop. Oh, here's the fun part. Alchemical colors and the triple goddess. In alchemy, the great work, transforming the soul, relies on three primary colors. Those colors are black, white, and red. We go back to the red. The red's going to just keep being a a topic here. Hold on. I want to say while I'm doing this, hello. Hey, Nine Mind Health. Hi. And we got Skin Stone over here. We got all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna keep going. Alchemical colors. So the black, the white, and the red. Look at how Snow White's mother describes her in the original tale. Skin, a white as snow. Lips, red as bleed, and hair as black as ebony. So, or blood. So Snow White herself represents the alchemical prima materia, the pure, uncorrupted soul. She also embodies the maiden aspect of the occult, triple goddess, while the queen represents the crone. I mean, well, I want Sati. We can talk about that when I'm done here because I want to hear a little bit more about that as well because you're a little bit more familiar with that. So, the famous seven dwarfs, the number seven, you guys. In esoteric interpretation, the seven dwarfs are not just cute little characters. They represent the seven classical planets, ancient astrology, the chakras, seven planets. So chakras, the energy centers of the human body, and they work deep in the mines, digging for diamonds and gold, a literal metaphor for minding the subconscious mind for spiritual riches. I find that twist very interesting myself. So each dwarf represents a specific human emotional state. Think about it. It represents how we feel. It's like you got sneezy, you got sleepy, you got, grumpy. And
Dopey.
I love Dopey. I love Dopey.
Easy.
Dopey's my friend. Oh my God. Dutch flies in the house. Let's say hi to friends real quick before I go to the last part. I can't see that. I'm ADD, so I'm like, I can't seem to get through my presentation. It's going to be a long show. The poison apple and the fall of man. The apple is the ultimate biblical and occult symbol of forbidden knowledge and temptation, directly mirroring the Garden of Eden. It all goes back to the Bible. Let's wrap it back up into, let's make sure we go back to the Adam and Eve sin, the tree of knowledge. Let's not seek knowledge because knowledge is bad. The evil queen dressed as a cloaked hag representing the serpent who coaxes Snow White into tasting the apple. Eating it, Snow White enters a sleeping death, which esoteric researchers view as a metaphor for the human soul falling into a state of spiritual amnesia. Sound familiar, anybody? Spiritual amnesia? Is that what we're suffering on a daily basis? Maybe it's because we listen to all this. So, which esoteric researchers view as a metaphor for, or spiritual slumber within the heavy physical matrix of world. So, alchemical marriage, the prince's kiss. Of course, a guy needs to come save the day, right? So, the prince is often criticized for having no personality. However, he doesn't really need one because he really doesn't represent what you think. He represents the animus or divine masculine spirit. His kiss isn't just a romantic gesture. It represents the alchemical marriage or reunification of the physical soul and the divine spirit. So, it's a trip to me that all these messages are embedded into these stories. Yet, all I remember is whistle while you work. But my subconscious in there heard the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. What do you think of that? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I think there's a lot in this, and it's really incredible the programming and manipulation that we received from the times that we were born, because we couldn't control our family. We couldn't control our teachers. We couldn't control our ministers or priests or bishops or whatever for religion. And because of that, a lot of stuff goes into that brain. And we don't realize it when we're watching these movies as children. We're just like, oh, we're excited because why? Because we're still operating out of our inner child center. And many people have forgotten about that and lost it. It's something that I talk about often, the importance of holding on to that inner child within you and playing with her or him. And this is just so important. There's a lot of alchemy happening in this movie as well. I'm all about alchemy and alchemizing anything, creating air, creating fire, the water. You can take the elements and you can alchemize them. We, as divine beings, have these abilities if we just would use them to our benefit, as opposed to using them against us for not so good things. But when I do and play with the elements and I am working with alchemy, I am just having fun. I'm flowing in the fun. But this stuff here, it's crazy. It's crazy, the stuff that has filled our minds and the stuff that our parents thought, oh wow, we need for them to watch this. We need the girls to watch this. And they thought it was all great,
Because they were programmed too.
Exactly.
And I did the same thing. I didn't think about the meaning behind, Wally or none of these movies that later on came. And I mean, I had a boy, but if it would have, so we didn't watch a lot of the girl stories of princesses. But I mean, we went to Disney and we were wrapped up, it's like, but when the thing that makes me sad is that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So that innocence is lost.
Yes.
But innocence lost.
The nice thing is children, for the most part, because of the innocence of children, they don't see it, which is really amazing to me. So they're finding the fun, they're finding the positive, they're finding the fairy tale, they're finding the beautiful princess in these stories and the happy ending. And see, I think a lot of these stories were made for adults too, in that the adults are the ones that could find more of the hidden messages or the adult themes in them, where children, because of their purity and their innocence, and all of them are pure and innocent when they're children, they are seeing something completely different. And that is the saving grace in all of it. The problem is that at some point in their life, it could become a massive trigger mechanism for something that might come up in their life. And then they might get triggered into something that's not so good. And then they have to try and figure out why the trigger is happening. So this stuff goes really, really deep. And we have to get to a point, guys, where we're unlearning everything that we were taught, because it was all manipulation. It was all programming to try and keep everybody in line. And we're not conforming to that. We are saying no to the conforming, and we're all going to become nonconformists and say, no, I get to make up my own mind. But these stories, they also have every emotion, don't they? So you can laugh, you can feel all in your lovey emotions in the heart. You can feel angry, you can feel scared. There's so many emotions that, I mean, it makes you go, what am I supposed to be feeling right now? Because it's going from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. And to me, that's very confusing, right? And to keep a child confused is to better manipulate a child moving forward.
Yeah. And that's the point of the whole show, is really to start showing people some of these hidden messages, and that things, don't leave things at a surface level. Just look at what you're reading. Really look at what you're reading. Don't skim over it. Don't assume you know the meaning. So, Ben, quick question. Did you know that the Rothschilds and Rockefellers were put in prison in the 30s by a particular government that we did not like? That's going to go into the other show, but we'll talk. I didn't know. So, did you know that? Sati?
Yes. And also, too, I did thank you, Ben, for that. You're absolutely correct, Ben. And Ewok also sent a message through.
That one,
and also very correct. And this is why I cringe when people go to Disneyland or Disney World anymore. It's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Because we all know what that's about. So Yeah.
Anybody have any questions on Snow White before we move on? Because we have like 6 more of these. So we're gonna move on to the story of Cinderella. Cinderella, Cinderella. I love the mice. I got caught up in the mice. You know, they're the fairy, fairy godmothers. They were just so cute. And, again, everybody wants a prince that saves them from doing the laundry by hand. Tell us about it, Sati.
Well, I would like to say this. Miracles and magic happen every day if we allow ourselves to be plugged into the divine realms. And we can see this clearly in this story of Cinderella. I have to say, honestly, when doing the research for this movie, and just while I'm researching it, it's taking me back into my remembrances of watching this as a child and then again with my children. And there were some things in it actually that's so bizarre and I wasn't expecting it. I was triggered. I had some triggers happen when I'm looking into this because of similarities to some things in my life when I was a little kid. So it's a very interesting story. And it was created in 1950, an absolute crown jewel of the golden era of, again, Disney. This particular movie actually saved Disney Studios from bankruptcy. Many people don't know that. I didn't know that until I did the research. On the surface, it's a rags to riches story. And when we look beneath the glass slippers and the pumpkin coaches, we see a powerful psychological message matched with some very deep esoteric and alchemical, again, themes. So the positive takeaways for me in this, yes, DJ, sounds great. I'm in. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys, getting back to this. The positive messages in this movie. Many people see Cinderella as a woman that needs to be saved. However, I choose to see the survivor in her because we're all better off if we choose survivorship or hood over victimhood or victimship. We don't want that. So that is a really awesome thing. And she has such internal strength that we see from the start of this and how that starts shifting and spiraling into something else, much stronger, much more able person. So we see resilience and grace under fire. Cinderella is subjected to psychological abuse, emotional neglect, and forced labor by her step family. Yet she refuses to let their cruelty turn her bitter and cruel. Her true magic is her emotional resilience, and she protects her inner peace and dignity despite the toxic environment that she has to live in. You know, it was all good until her dad passed away, and then after he died, the stepmother and sisters became highly wicked, right? So we also have kindness as a radical act. In a world that treats Cinderella like dirt, she chooses to be kind, not just to humans, but to the vulnerable mice and birds that surround her. This is what, like, animals are so great, right? We can get so much from them. I love it.
They feed you. They feed you their energy. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And also, I think this movie teaches that kindness isn't actually a weakness. It builds a community of loyal friends who ultimately end up helping save her. The power of hope and manifestation can be seen through this movie. The famous song, "A dream is a wish your heart makes."
Mm-hmm.
It's catchy. And it's a profound message about maintaining your vision. It tells the viewer that no matter how dark the present moment is, holding on to your dreams keeps your spirit alive until the timing is right for the change. And of course, we see karma and divine justice. The Grand Duke and the King represent a system of ultimate accountability. In the end, the glass slipper fits perfectly, providing that truth can never be hidden. We operate on truth, guys. You can never go wrong. Okay, that's a really important part of this story, in my opinion, and I try to live my life that all the time. So the glass slipper fitting perfectly, proving that the truth cannot be hidden by the lies or the locked doors. The step family's attempts to manipulate reality completely backfires on them, which I love. I loved it as a kid. I love it as an adult. And now we're heading into the hidden symbology angles. So Disney's animators seem to heavily rely on classic esoteric symbolism for pretty much every movie they ever did. For researchers of the occult and secret societies, Cinderella is a textbook story of spiritual illumination. The fairy godmother as the Gnostic Sophia. I'm sure some of you know about Sophia. My cosmic name is Sati Sophia Eloraya. So this is part of the Sophia lineage or divine architect. In esoteric traditions, the fairy godmother represents the concept of Sophia, which is divine wisdom, or a spiritual guide who intervenes when the initiate reaches their lowest point, like when Cinderella is crying under the willow tree. The magic words, bippity boppity boo. I love bippity boppity
Boppity boo.
Bippity boppity boo.
I love it.
They're often viewed by theorists as a playful, linguistic bind for ancient, Kabbalistic, or magical incantations used to alter the physical material of the world. The alchemy of the pumpkin and glass in this movie is the ancient practice of turning base metal, so here we go into our alchemizing, metal into gold as a metaphor for transforming the human soul. Cinderella undergoes a literal alchemical transformation. The pumpkin, an earthy, common vegetable, is elevated into a golden carriage. Her ragged clothes are transformed into a gown of pure light. And the glass slipper is the ultimate symbol of the refined, purified, soul transparent, unyielding, and perfectly formed. The midnight deadline and Saturnian. Why midnight? We might have asked. There's got to be a purpose behind it. Well, here we go, because in astrology and occult symbolism, midnight represents the changing of the guards, the boundary between the conscious and the unconscious world, and the domain of Saturn, the Lord of time, the Lord of restrictions, and the Lord of karma. Cinderella is allowed to experience the higher spiritual realm. The ball was that. But she must return to the material world, which is the ashes. And when the clock strikes 12, symbolizing the temporary nature of spiritual ecstasies before full initiation is complete. So you got to take care of it before the clock strikes 12, or else.
Or else.
And then we have Lucifer the cat in this movie.
Ooh, I forgot about the cat.
Yes. So you don't have to look too far for hidden names here. The stepmother's wicked, sleek black cat is literally named Lucifer. In conspiratorial interpretations, the cat represents the ever watchful eye of the adversary, constantly trying to trap the
Uh-oh.
birds and
She
mice.
frozen?
Oh, what? Can you hear me?
Is the
Can you hear me?
Sorry, I was frozen. Go ahead.
Yes,
I didn't
sorry about
know you. I thought you were frozen. It was me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, where was I? Lucifer the cat. Yes, so
Hmm.
constantly trying, the Lucifer the cat was constantly trying to trap the birds and the mice. And of course, they signify the innocent, pure souls, don't they? As many animals do. And keeping Cinderella bound to her earthly servitude because they can't have her spiraling it up and stepping into her full consciousness and divinity, because then she'd see through it and then they wouldn't have a slave anymore for doing all the house chores and everything. So it's incredible to me how a film that brought so much joy to our childhoods can carry such deep, mysterious layers when we look back at this with adult eyes. And that's my take on the Cinderella hidden symbology.
It is. It's such a. It's such a wild story because it's got so many, so many meanings, so many deep meanings. Like and this is something that you see over and over again. The pumpkin coach being a magic under condition. There's always a condition, you
Yes.
know. So if you go do bad stuff out there, it does not come for free, guys. So that there's conditions. There's karma. There's if you throw it out there, it'll come back to get you. So you got to be really careful how you use power out there because it doesn't come for free. There's always a price to be paid, and that's going to be in a lot of these movies.
Absolutely.
The fact that there's a condition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, it's so incredible because I love that we're doing this because it actually makes us not just with what we're presenting, but it will make us and others when they're watching a movie or listening to something, it can kind of make you go into that consciousness and see what is it doing to my energy, right? How is it affecting me? What is my intuition telling me? Because hey there, Cindy.
Hey, back from Barcelona. Barcelona.
Barcelona.
She's fancy now. She's fancy.
Fancy.
Good to see you. I love you so much, Cindy Lou. Go ahead. Keep going, Sati. I love the story so much. I mean, everything in the story and against the prince doesn't really mean what you think it means. It's like, it's just, in her case, it was more power, worldly power, like, hey, I need a favor, man. I'm cleaning stuff all the time. It's like, I want to be taken care of.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing for me with her is that she was so kind of naive with that and the purity of her soul. Like I found her so pure of soul that she just took it all. She just took it all. And then she didn't ask for really anything, and that's why the fairy godmothers are coming in and they're helping her out and like the mice, and they're just, the way that they pull in the birds, the mice, and they're putting all this together for her because she cared about them, because she showed them love and they wanted to do something nice to her or for her. And then with the prince, when they're going around because of the glass slipper, that to me is so symbolic of truth because she wasn't looking for anything. And the wicked stepmother and the stepsisters in this story, they were horrible and they thought for sure, no, they didn't even tell anybody about Cinderella being in the attic, locked in the attic. They were like, no, the shoe is going to fit me. No, the shoe is going to fit me. No, knowing full well that they never wore a glass slipper to the ball. They never did. So when they see Cinderella, and they said, everybody in the kingdom has to try these on until they find the person it fits. She was so just pure of heart. And it was something she didn't have any expectations to. And that's kind of what I took from it. And I love that in the story, that she wasn't asking, she wasn't bothering people to save her or to help her. And because of who she chose to be, the pure heart and the innocence, the truth worked out in her favor.
And it's basically giving a message, right? And now we have two stories. We got Snow White and Cinderella, in which, because of their pureness of heart and because of they loved the universe gave back. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you have mice making dresses. On the other way, it's like you have all these birds cleaning house. It's the message that if you are truly connected with the universe gives back. For those that are not connected with the universe, they don't get those, benefits. Yeah. To me, that's like kind of like it's starting to kind of spin in my head. So,
I was just going to respond to Ruthie there.
Yes, I think about the deep meaning of things I read, watch, and listen to. Now we'll try to notice and look even more closely. I didn't pay attention for so long, Ruthie, and stuff just kind of squeezed through, and it's in there. Well, it's in your head, and it's like you have to be aware, because otherwise your subconscious just kind of like going on autopilot.
Well, we play games at home all the time where we're watching something and we are literally seeing things in anything that we're watching of hidden symbology. And so I'll call it, or Eric will call it, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, good call, good catch, good catch, good catch. Because that's how we're looking. It's like we're dissecting everything we watch as we watch it. And I love that. I love it. It's like we're like,
really looking. Yeah, we're not going to leave it on, stone unturned. So what if this is an interesting twist. What if the animals and fairy godmothers were all there acting for the benefit of the prince? They were tasked with finding the perfect mate. Now, here's another twist. If both the prince and Cinderella were pure of heart, then they were both in the same realm. Therefore, the universe helped both of them bring them together. The universe was playing the role behind the scenes and nobody really understood. The animals and the fairy godmothers are the universe taking that journey to where it should go. My head exploded.
Well, can I just comment?
It doesn't take much. Please do.
What I'd like to say, the opposite to that. Now, can you please put that back up?
This one. Yeah, Rich.
What I'd like to say is, what we could also look at that in hidden symbology or the darker side, as if they were her handlers.
Oh man, now we're going. I know there was handlers that brought them together because the power needed to be at the royal palace. We could go in so many directions, but that is a good point. Hold on.
Rich. That's awesome.
Mind help. The rescue mutts and animals here must have their energy mixed up as they make a mess, not clean up. I would like to borrow the bluebirds for a weekend cleaning time. LOL, the signs are always there. Yes, they are. You're so right. Captain Harris is in the house. Captain Harris. Mwah. So good to see you, Captain Harris. And Eric, awareness is essential. Neurolinguistic programming is a way. I don't know why I have to do the deep voice for Eric. I don't know if Eric has that deep voice. Just guessing. So it's a way to essentially hypnotize, used by politicians, salespeople, crooks to sway decisions and objections.
Absolutely.
In a world where the mind can be molded versus so many different ways, right? Got social media. Okay, ultra program. I mean, take your pick. The mind is the end game. So, okay. Shall we move on to our next story? Any other questions? Did we miss anybody? No. I think we're caught up, right?
I'm trying to keep on it with the chat. So I think
if we miss you, you guys, we love you. I'm ADD and poor Sati doesn't like to be, she's not technical and I'm ADD, so we're in trouble today. I get the pleasure of presenting this little nugget. Talk about creepy stories for children. Okay, I will be presenting Hansel and Gretel. This story is an absolute masterstroke. Much like Red Riding Hood, I have to do this is much like Red Riding Hood. This story is too brutal, ancient, Germanic oral tale popularized by the Brothers Grimm. We got to do an entire show on the Brothers Grimm. Really, seriously.
Yeah,
Like A
absolutely.
Night with the Brothers Grimm.
Yep.
It was born during the Great Famine. So you're going to see famine all over this puppy of
Oh,
Europe in the 14th century, which explains why the story is so heavily obsessed with food, survival, abandonment, and even cannibalism. Yes, because children's stories and cannibalism go like peanut butter and jelly. There seems to be an incredible strength within these two siblings. And then on the other side of this, there's a deep, dark, occult symbology of the gingerbread. The positive messaging. And this is where Ruthie Robles is going to love this one because this one, the girl is a savior. It's a positive messaging. Hansel and Gretel is the one of the most empowering fairy tales ever told because the children receive zero help, from adults or magic. They survive purely on their own merit and they get really clever. Ingenuity and resourcefulness. Hansel, is it Hansel? Hansel.
Hansel. Hansel
Hansel.
and Gretel.
It sounds like what's his name? The Zoolander. Hansel. Hansel and Gretel, sorry. Hansel is incredibly clever. He came up, he overhears the parents' plans. So in this story, the parents are going to abandon the children, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about putting a fear of God in, people's heads. Hold on, Julia. Hold on, let's say, oh my God, we have somebody from Sicily
Yes.
here. Julia Vasanisi. 104. Hello from Sicily. It's so good to see you. Former Boston, Massachusetts. A great smart show. Came from what is known today as abuse, verbal, and mental. I am so sorry, sweetie. But obviously, we see stories like this all the time now. And it's just so heartbreaking because what you do to children stays forever. Just forever. Why? It's like, mess with your own freaking heads. Don't mess with the innocence.
Boom. And Julia also said here in Cinderella, the attic was magical to me. Me too, because it was like a safe space for her. And we can turn that into it when we go through things when we're children that are not so positive. So we can try to have our own safe space. Thank you, Julia. I love your comments.
We're so glad you're here. I can't believe we're being seen in Italy. That's cool. Usually we get that with Oliviero, but it's like middle of the night. So it's probably middle of the night for you, Julia. Okay, so back to Hansel. So he hears that they're going to get abandoned. He gathers the white pebbles, which gleam in the moonlight. How clever is that? I would not have thought that, to leave a trail home. It's like they were preparing the kids for, hey, if your parents abandon you, make sure you get those pebbles that gleam in the moonlight. It teaches us to use whatever small tools we have at our disposal to navigate out of our darkest situations. Sibling solidarity and teamwork. This is my favorite one right here. There's no sibling rivalry. They were not fighting over who goes first or whatever. Hansel and Gretel survived because they stuck together. They comforted each other when they cried. Think about how a scary story this is. And share their meager crusts of bread. It's a beautiful message about the power of loyalty, family bonds, and facing overwhelming odds as a united front. Hold on. The transition from victim to victor. This is Ruthie, Gretel saves the day in this one. And think about when this was written. What year was this written?
This was in the 14th century.
And this is a story of the girl saves the day. So I got to call that one out. Gretel starts out weeping and terrified, but when the chips are down and the witch is about to cook her brother,
I know.
Gretel taps into her survival instinct. Similar to mothers when they fear that their children are in danger. They'll lift the car, right? So this is what happened to Gretel. She uses the witch's own tricks against her. showing that even the most vulnerable person can find the inner ferocity to defeat their abuser. I like this story. I like this because this is teaching people that they're a lot more powerful than they think. You always think, I could never do that. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I am at a 12 now. I'm at a 12. Overcoming despair and finding your way home. The woods are vast, dark, and terrifying, but the children never stop. The ultimate message is one of hope.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how deeply you have been abandoned or lost in the woods of life, you possess the capability to find your path back to safety and abundance.
Absolutely.
Love that story. Now, brrr, to the hidden. I have to do the sound effect. Brrr, brrr, brrr. Remember this? Brrr, brrr. Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Party done. Excellent. Brrr. The hidden. This is live. I forget I'm live.
It's like we're having a regular conversation. We just never even realize.
This is there forever. So when occultist historians and psychologists look at Hansel and Gretel, they see a dark allegory about temptation, spiritual processing, and the dangers of the material world.
Or the Matrix.
Matrix, yeah, we're going there. The gingerbread house as the material matrix. Esoterically, the gingerbread house made of candy and cake. Candy and cake, not the meat cake. And sugar, because sugar just helps, represents the ultimate trap of the material world's sensual pleasure, gluttony, and superficial desires. This is like the white van of the 14th century. Hey, come here and get my candy. This is exactly the white van, white creepy van without mirrors or windows. Children are starving, spiritually empty, and they greedily consume the house because eating a house, it makes sense. In conspiratorial interpretations, the candy house represents the modern consumerist illusion, like the steak versus the slop, right? Or the matrix, something that looks sweet and comforting on the outside, but it's designed to entrap your soul and consume you from inside out. Because that's what we want to teach our children. Kim P is here on the Gabby channel. We are being multi-streamed to Calling All Beings, the Carousel, and Mindfork. To do the voice, please visit those 3 channels and subscribe.
Hey there,
share and comment. Hi, Gabby says Kim P. UK. We're in the UK too. We're all over the world, global.
My family is the UK.
There you go. I've never been to the UK. I've been to Paris. Okay, so here we go. The witch is the devouring mother archetype. In Jungian psychology, the witch represents the devouring mother, or the shadow side of the feminine. While a true mother nurtures, the devouring archetype seeks to possess, control, lock up, like Hansel in the cage, and literally feed off the energy of the youth. That's it. Hold on. I'm UK too. That's Betty. I knew that. Yorkshire. Or
Baby
Yorkshire, as I say. BMR's in the house, everybody. Bigfoot, Michigan Rock. We have to do a Bigfoot show. I don't know why I did that in song. So, and then even the pebbles and the breadcrumbs. Okay, so white pebbles versus breadcrumbs. Spiritual knowledge. The contrast between pebbles and breadcrumbs is heavily symbolic. The white pebbles represent permanent, unchanging spiritual truths, or gnosis. They reflect the light of the moon, the divine feminine, intuition, and successfully lead the children home. The breadcrumbs represent transient, earthly material solutions. So even the thing itself, yes, I'm going to get that question in a minute. Betty, hold on. My word is Benny's fault. I'm just kidding, Ben. Love ya. Because they're material and they're devoured. Oh, because they're material and they're devoured by birds. Again, that would be the wrong choice, right? So there's always a payback. You take the shortcut, you take the bread instead of the crystals or the pebbles. Because the materials, because they are material, they're devoured by birds, leaving the children completely lost. It's a hidden message to trust permanent spiritual values over temporarily temporary material fixes. The oven has the alchemical, again, alchemical, that's every story has this and is for a reason. For alchemists, the witch's oven is not just a cooking tool. It is the athanor, the alchemical furnace where the base elements are heated to be purified. By showing the witch into her own oven, Gretel effectively uses the alchemical fire to destroy the corrupt dark ego, which is the witch. So the children then find the witch's chest filled with golden pearls, symbolically by conquering the dark trial of the oven, transformed their trauma into spiritual gold, returning home completely transformed and enriched. Alchemy. They came in one way, came out completely different. So I love this story for so many reasons because Gretel transformed herself.
She did.
She found the way to save her brother. She found the way to save them both. And she was cunning. I think she was a witch. I think I think that Gretel had a power. Gretel was chosen. Gretel had a power. I mean, Hansel, not to take anything away from poor Hansel, because he's, seriously cool and very, very clever. But at the end of the day, it was her knowledge, her power, her ability to pull out of that thing that gives you that strength to do something that you got to do. It was survival. It's a law of survival. We see the spiritual, we see the universal laws all over these books.
Absolutely. So, and, for me, I look at Gretel and I'd like to think she was praying and to her angels and guides, or to the other side of the veil, to God, to Yeshua. What do I do here? What can I do to save my brother? And she just she pulled it out of thin air and she did it. And I just love that girl for that. And it's champion, she's a champion for little girls, that even as a little girl, you can still have power. You can still tap into the divine realms and find your super powered abilities, and do something about it. So I love it. I think that this was one of the darkest children's stories ever, because, I just don't understand why my mom wanted to sit me in front of the television and watch a witch that did cannibalism. It's whoa, that's kind of crazy.
You don't expect that. And I mean, again, Hansel and Gretel. In my little feeble mind, I'm like, oh, it's such a cute story. That's what I remember, right? It's such a cute story. There's candy, right? The kids are focused on the candy house. Everybody eat the house. Yeah. Says no one. Even candy, gingerbread homes. Nobody eats that. I bake. Nobody really eats them. I'm sorry. Maybe you do.
No.
Or whoever does, I don't mean to offend. So Betty's question, have you seen the film Civil War? Are they conditioned us the same with Disclosure Day? One of the things that I thought about today as we were talking about these stories is that we do need to look at it. I mean, this holds true for any story, not just children's stories. The movies have been conditioning us for years. They've been preparing us that, aliens are bad. It's Predator. It's terrible. Here, Ruthie, finally speaking. So, as far as Disclosure Day, I haven't seen it yet because I'm here in the country and my husband hasn't been able to get out with me. But when I see it, I'll let you know. But are they trying to condition us again? I wouldn't doubt it. So, Ruthie Robles says, I love this story. Always symbolize going through childhood drama and taking what you learn and make you stronger.
Yes.
You can't relate with Gretel I can't relate as the older sister of 5 kids and being the protector. I can. I think you mean I can relate with Gretel as the older sister of 5 kids. So you have 5. Wow. You're a family of 5. But
great comment, Ruthie.
That is awesome. But I was thinking, they always say the way that you grow is through those struggles. Mm-hmm. The trauma actually transforms you.
Absolutely.
You feed off of it. So it's wild because, a lot of You can turn that trauma, turn that trauma around, or let it sink you. I mean, it was terrible that it happens.
Yeah,
DJ's asking is guessing that Disclosure Day is only in theaters. Yeah,
I think so.
unfortunately, they're not going to have it at home anytime soon. It's a
I tried
Spielberg, so
last night, and it's like, no, theaters only right now.
yeah,
I also
I have to go
wanted
to
to
Sherman.
I wanted to respond to Benny as well,
Hmm.
because I did see Civil War, and
Oh,
that
cool.
that movie was pretty telling. And I think that with the state that we're in right at this point in time, especially in the United States, that movie I just watched again the other day because I thought this kind of stuff seems to be kicking off a little bit right now, and we need to stop this insanity. But I would really love to do a little bit of a deep dive on those types of movies, those like Civil War and Disclosure Day when it comes out.
We're
And
going to
yeah,
be doing movies, like not just kid stories. So part of this thought is like maybe we do an M Night night, a night with M Night,
yes,
or some other movies that we include, that because the movies are shaping us, and they say it. The movies shape us. Isn't that their motto? The
yeah,
movies shape us. So, and totally agree with you, DJ. Ruthie Robles is an amazing person. And having said that, real quick before we go to the next story, the Calling All Beings clan is going to be having a show this Wednesday with a lot of people that you're talking in the chat today. It's Cab Mod Squad. So they're turning the tables and taking the mods from the chat are going to take over the cab. So
that's
please tune in on Wednesday for this awesomeness. I'll be there. This is going to be so fun. The girls
good.
love these topics. So, you want to go to the next story? Anybody, anything else on Hansel and Gretel?
Um,
Hansel.
I don't think I do. I just am trying to see these uh, comments here
Oh
because
yeah,
Ben,
once we see, oh, here we go. Oh, and Ben also put, hold on, K9. Once we see things on TV, movies, it is not as hard for our brains to sort through the information. ET, when young, now Disclosure Day, it will take ages to get to Aussie land. Let us, oh, he's in Australia. Hi, Benny. That one, right?
yes, yeah,
Yes.
interesting is a
I
man in the
agree 10,000%. Another on is a TV series, not conspiracy, but interesting. Is A Man in the High Castle. I know that
amazing.
one. I
Yeah,
know that one. Cool.
yeah,
So we got to take notes. We'll go through the chat and take
good job.
notes and see. And then DJ Jules, Akashi, Boston Via, Captain Jerry Harris, and Ruthie Robles on Cab. Being multi-stream to Mindfork. We're going to have a great time. And poor Ruthie is a little nervous. Please remind
No,
her. Please tell her. Where is she? Hold on. Where's the comment? She put something like, here we go. I'm so nervous and excited. You can ask Sati. I get super nervous every single time. I was doing it earlier today.
it's true.
Once you're on, it's like, boom.
Yeah, and you know what? If I can suggest something prior to hopping on to get yourself, instead of in your anxiety, put on one of your favorite like power tunes and just bug out to that and dance to that. And then right before you go live, just do some deep breaths in through the nose, hold that breath, blow it out through the mouth. It'll recalibrate you and get you ready and calm for going live. I have faith in you, Ruthie. You're freaking amazing on here. Absolutely love how much you are a part of this when we do our shows. You're always, you're just commenting and adding so much, and all of you do. All like you guys are amazing. So
You're
you're going to do
awesome.
great, and I'm going to watch the show Wednesday because
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
wait to see you.
Okay, this is awesome. I was about to say her hype song is gonna be Thunderstruck. Yes. Mine is Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart. I love that. Like I can just see Tommy Lee just like drumming away, and I'm walking around thinking I'm a badass, pointing at
Yes,
first. Going, yeah, you like me.
I
Um,
do.
this is sad. I am live. I keep forgetting. Someone remind me. Okay. Participants will be Jules, Captain Jerry. Okay, he's recapping again. This is because he included some people who are not going to be there. So, participant Jules, Jerry, Bia, and La Wifey. Okay, so it's going to be so good. Okay, so next story is being presented by. Ooh, beauty.
Beauty.
One last question from Ben. Chris, speaking of music, have you heard the song Good Citizens? Nope, but I'm going to go check it out.
Who
I'll
sings
find that.
it?
Yeah, who sings that? Give us the info. Tell us a story. I am at a 15 now. Go ahead, Sati.
All
You're going, I was
right.
at a 12? I'm at a 15. Go
Woo!
ahead. Woo. Go for
Okay,
it.
Sleeping Beauty came out with Disney in 1959. And it was heavily inspired by medieval tapestries. What you can see some of that in the beautiful depiction here on screen, and Gothic art. It was very Gothic, in my opinion. The ultimate romantic fairy tale. However, there is a treasure trove of psychological, historical, and highly conspiratorial interpretations. So the positive aspects of the movie are the power of unconditional love. The true love's kiss. Remember that? Like they talked about the true love's kiss is
Who
what
loves Kiss?
yes, and it had to be true love because it wouldn't make her come out of the coma if it wasn't a true love's kiss. And this is the ultimate force within this movie, actually. And it isn't just about romance. It's a metaphor for how genuine love, devotion, and the purity of heart can break the heaviest of cycles of trauma, depression, or spiritual slumber. The strength of the feminine community. Prince Philip gets a lot of credit, but he would have failed instantly without the three good fairies, Flora, Fauna,
Anna.
and Merryweather. They are the true driving force of the plot of this story. They shield Aurora, who is Sleeping Beauty, if you didn't know. They protect the kingdom, and they literally forge the prince's weapons. So they're badass. They are badass because they are forging metal. Giddy up, alchemy again, alchemy again. So they did his weapons for him. They forged his weapons, and it highlights the protective, nurturing, and very fierce power of matriarchal community. It's just amazing. I love how they all kind of came together. There's nature and simplicity before materialism in this movie. So when Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, is hidden away as Briar Rose, because for those of you that saw the movie, they changed her name, right, to keep her safe. So she grows up in a modest cottage in the woods, and she's deeply connected to the nature and the animals. Despite losing her royal status, she grows up happy, healthy, and very kind and pure. This suggests that true nobility and joy come from within, not from crowns and castles. That I believe wholeheartedly. And we have the shield of virtue that shows up in this movie when Prince Philip goes to face Maleficent. The fairies arm him with the shield of virtue. And here we go again, guys, the sword of truth. So we have truth factor coming in to right all the wrongs, right? Go with truth. You'll never go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So this sends a message that when facing overwhelming malice, your strongest defenses are honesty, integrity, and moral courage. So then we are going to look at the hidden symbology because there is quite a bit of it in this movie. And when you pull back the curtain and look at the film through esoteric and occult or psychological lenses, Sleeping Beauty becomes a story that is deeply rooted in secret societies, alchemy, and dark archetypes. Maleficent, as the left-hand path, or Baphomet, many see her as, conspiracy theorists and occult researchers frequently point to her design. With her prominent horns, her heavy black and purple robes, and her ability to summon all the powers of hell. Her silhouette mirrors Baphomet, or the horned deity often associated with secret societies and the occult. When she transforms into a dragon, she embodies the literal biblical old serpent. The spindle, the blood sacrifice, and puberty. In esoteric circles, this spinning wheel isn't just a random tool. It represents the wheel of fate, or the spindle of necessity. These are concepts from ancient mystery schools, guys. The pricking of the finger to draw blood, followed by a sudden lapse into a death-like coma, is heavily analyzed by psychologists and theorists as a symbolic representation of a forced, traumatic occult initiation or dark metaphor for the loss of innocence. The green fire and the Luciferian light. Maleficent and her spells are characterized by a distinct, eerie green flame. In hidden symbology, this specific green light is often associated with the Luciferian, or the forbidden light of hidden knowledge. Aurora is completely hypnotized by a glowing green orb that leads her up the castle stairs to the spindle. And theorists describe this as a textbook depiction of mind control or demonic possession. And now again, we have the alchemical transformation. The three fairies, Flora wearing red, Merryweather wearing blue, and Fauna wearing green. They are constantly bickering over Aurora's dress color as a hidden nod to alchemy. The process here involves shifting colors, specifically red to blue to white, to reach the spiritual perfection. The clash of colors represents the chaotic refinement of the human soul. Whether you prefer to look at it as a beautiful story of virtue conquering evil, or an elaborate tapestry of esoteric symbolism, Sleeping Beauty remains one of the most visually and symbolically rich stories that has ever been told.
I love, you know what, again, another scene, another scenario where somebody goes into a sleep state, into another realm. And I love the saying here that came up with, actually, it was, what sleeps in silence may return transformed. I mean, there's messaging around her sleeping and going to a different realm. There's messaging around the coffin, right? She had the glass coffin in this case, right? That was this one, right? Yeah, the glass coffin. It's like it's protecting. Yes. It's like putting her in a bubble when you go out of your head, right? So you start to see again the same kind of themes playing out here.
Yeah.
From the curse, the prince again is kind of like he's there to deliver the true love's kiss, but the kiss isn't necessarily romantic. That, you know, it's the love part that does it. You know, so
he had to feel true love for her.
Hold on a second.
For it to work.
Sorry, my nose is itching. Driving me crazy. So, anything else on Sleeping Beauty before we go to the next story?
I don't
Hope you
think.
guys are having fun. Again, we are multi-streaming to Calling All Beings, Cosmic Carousel, and Mindford.
Well, I hope
Please
y'all
go.
are having fun. I hope you guys are hearing some things that you didn't really know about some of these movies that you might have watched in your youth,
Um,
or even as an adult with your children or grandchildren, whatever the case may be. I hope that you're enjoying it because it was so much fun to put this stuff together, I got to tell you.
yep. So, and we have Barely Brunette. I'm sorry, Brunette. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I was like laughing and said, grabbing my Bible to ensure El Diablo doesn't sneak in while I'm listening. I love El Diablo. But you're right. I mean, we talked about earlier about Lucifer the cat,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
other story. So, and Lulabelle is enjoying the show, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that everybody's here. So, next one, I get to present Alice in Wonderland.
All
Rabbit holes. And I go down rabbit holes every day. So,
boom,
just
boom,
killing me.
boom,
So,
boom, boom, boom.
okay, and we're going to talk about we focused on the Tim Burton version because we love that one. It's like kind of an adultish, it's a little bit more blatant in the messaging. Although Alice in Wonderland is a trip. So Tim Burton's 2010 live action Alice in Wonderland is a brilliant movie. By bringing in Johnny Depp as a Mad Hatter, Burton transformed the classic whimsical nonsense story into a dark epic of destiny, mental health, and revolution. Obviously, this version is more like a sequel to the original, where a 19-year-old Alice returns to Underland. So this is a little bit different than the regular story.
Mhm.
Having forgotten her childhood visits, the themes are much more mature in this depiction. But it's still the story remains the same. Well, this version injects a massive dose of modern empowerment into Alice's journey, empowerment she didn't have the first time around. So, positive messages, reclaiming your muchness. This is an emotional anchor of the movie. The Hatter tells Alice that she has lost her muchness. It's like muchness. That is a very interesting word. I never heard it before this movie. Her confidence, her fire, her unique essence. The film serves as a beautiful reminder that the pressures of society can make us shrink ourselves, but we always have the power to reclaim authentic, bold identity. And I don't know about you, but we have masks that we put on depending on who we're around, right? We put on our little masks to fit in depending on which environment we're in. But we really have to remember that our muchness is worth sharing. So
Exactly. Stay true to who you are. And we have to try not to do that. That's not something I do because I refuse to do it. You're going to get the real me 100% of the time. And I have no problem disagreeing in a tactful, respectful way. It's all good.
mhm.
I can't do the mask thing and I can't handle when people do that because it's just like, just be real. It's so much easier. It's just so easy to be real. And if people don't like it, then
Yeah.
they're not meant to align with your energy anyway.
I know. It's like we at work, I used to hide all the time, right? Kind of like I don't want to be seen as crazy, even though they already knew I was. But it didn't take much to figure that one out. But I now have gotten to the mode that's like, I'm going to embrace my crazy because the crazy is what makes me unique. The crazy is what makes me think of cool ideas. So I'm like, that crazy is good and bad. I don't care. I'll take it because it's
Yeah.
me. Right?
And
It's like you forget that it's like you are special. Rich New Design, I've been chastised for sharing my muchness. We
me
love your muchness. We
too, man.
love that muchness. So,
Yeah.
I'm honored to be associated with a person like Akashi.
Aw, that's
DJ, you're the best, man. You're the
that's
sweetest. It's
pretty
gonna
awesome.
make me cry. Hey, Chris, I thought Alice in Wonderland was about drugs. Oh no, my friend, not yet. I mean, there's some drugs in there, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, the
So,
drugs are through the creators, Benny. It was the creators of Alice in Wonderland, I think, that were doing some major like
right?
LSD or psilocybin because, yeah, you can't come up with something like this without that, I think. This is just so wild.
Exactly. So, uh, Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so embracing your own madness. So one of the famous lines in the film is when the Hatter, I was talking about being crazy, is when the Hatter asks if he's gone mad. And Alice replies, I'm afraid so. You're entirely bonkers, but I'll tell you a secret. All the best people are. It's a wonderfully positive validation of neurodiversity, eccentricity, and thinking outside the box. None of these things are bad. It's like, why is it that being different has to be so horrible? You know, it teaches that what society labels as crazy is often just genius and creativity. So I'd rather think of me as genius than insane. The power of rejecting societal expectations. Don't let
Oh,
society put you in a box.
no.
Something, sorry, something I have done my entire life. So I know it's you, and we have been. The movie's frames Underland as a manifestation of Alice escaping an arranged loveless marriage in Victorian society. By finding her strength to slay the Jabberwocky in Underland, he gains a real world courage to say no to the marriage proposal, choosing instead to become an independent businesswoman. You know, going into the unknown, right? Taking the not so, you know, the less driven path,
Mhm.
believing in the impossible. Alice relies on her father's old wisdom, something, and there's always a father figure that's like very strong in these movies.
Yes.
And usually the father is gone, you know, or not in the picture or dead.
Mm.
Sometimes I believe as many as impossible things before breakfast. It encourages a mindset of absolute faith, pushing past logical limitations to achieve what others say cannot be done. Now, we're going into the hidden symbology. Many theorists and esoteric researchers view this film as a massive allegory for psychological program. Psyops. Anyone here on psyops here? Oh yeah, we're in the UFO space. Secret societies and occult warfare due to Tim Burton's visual style, relying heavily on dark imagery and conspiracies. I mean, Tim Burton's fantastic. He's king of dark. Love his movies. So, Monarch, Mind Control and the Rabbit Hole. So yes, this is part of the message. In deep internet conspiracy circles, especially, specifically theories surrounding MK Ultra or Monarch Mind Control, Alice in Wonderland imagery is viewed as the ultimate blueprint for psychological fracturing. Fracturing,
Mhm.
not just control, fracturing. Important word to remember. Wonderland imagery is viewed as the ultimate. Oh, sorry. Theorists claim that falling down the rabbit hole and entering a surreal world where things change size is a visual representation of a victim disassociating from reality under trauma.
Mhm.
The Hatter, with his fractured psyche and shifting eye color, is viewed by these theorists as a fellow broken victim. So he's actually like pulling people in. It's like, hey, you know,
Mhm.
and again, it's a fractured psyche, and we have so many people that have been abused, and you know, and we hear about this on the news all the time. It's important to know what it's doing. The dualistic chessboard warfare. The climax of the film takes place on a literal giant chessboard with the White Queen's armies clad in white armor fighting the Red Queen's army in red and black. So again, the same colors over and over, like we originally saw in Snow White. In
Okay.
esoteric symbolism, like Freemasonry, the checkered floor or chessboard represents dualism, the eternal struggle between light and dark, positive and negative forces in the physical universe. Alice acts as a grand masterpiece that balances the Mad Hatter, Mercury, and the occult craftsman. Johnny Depp's Hatter is deeply symbolic. Historically, Hatters went mad from breathing in mercury, used to cure felt. I didn't know that before. In alchemy, mercury is a volatile, shifting element of transformation in the mind. The Hatter's orange hair and erratic mood swings symbolize the soul constantly cooking in the alchemical fire, trying to transmute his madness into divine wisdom to help the chosen one. Again, pretty adult themes
Yes.
for Alice in Wonderland. You
Right?
always think like off with their heads, and you play around with these topics and you just throw words out there and you forget that all this has very special meaning. The Jabberwocky as a demiurge or ego. The dragon like Jabberwocky, which Alice must slay with the Varpal sword, is heavily analyzed in Gnostic and esoteric circles. It represents the ultimate shadow, the demiurge, false ruler, or the human ego that keeps the soul trapped in fear, edging God out.
Boom.
The Vorpal sword represents the sharp edge of absolute truth. Alice cannot free Underland until she uses truth to sever the head of the illusionary beast. So that is the story of Alice in Wonderland in Tim Burton's version, but the themes remain the same.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pull up. Tell me what you think before I pull up. Ben had a question.
Yeah, there's actually, if you go back, there's a few things that we should talk, like, because people have been putting some stuff in the chat.
Okay, let me go mark them. Hold on.
You know, I wanted to say something that this movie to me kind of ties in with the Matrix movies. If you guys, I'm sure most of you have seen the Matrix movies, and you've got your red pill and your blue pill, and you know you're going down the rabbit hole. It's pretty similar in so many aspects like that. If you take some of the symbology and you think about the Matrix too, and it's just like, whoa, okay, that's kind of ties in. We often operate on the similar storyline, and then they just change some of the matter to make it a little different.
Exactly. And I was going to say something about that, and I just lost it. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So here's a book recommendation in the Alice in Wonderland universe. It is called Heartless. It's the backstory of the Queen of Hearts. Nice.
Yes, I wrote it down, Ruthie. Thank you. I'm going to check it out because I think that's awesome.
Let me see. Tea Party, caffeine mushroom, and the purple plants is a DMT sort of drug. Smoking is heroin. And yeah, so I'm sure there's more side effects as well with that. Yeah, and I think part of it too is like once you go to the Underland, you can't unsee it, right? So it's like that is a permanent choice. When you decide to jump down that rabbit hole, you're going to see things that are going to change you. And that's the same thing about the Matrix. It's like, you know, do you get to pick the pill? Do you want steak or you want slop? Or you want steak even though it's slop, but you want to think it's steak. So you want a fake world just to please you. So I'm at a 16 now. Chris, the Hatter is smoking with red eyes. The side effect, caffeine makes you jittery, like a party mushrooms distort size. When she eats it, you're right. You know, party mushrooms like distort size. You go big or small.
Absolutely.
The Cheshire Cat ambiguity paradox. Guidance through confusion. I mean, and who trusted the Cheshire Cat? I don't even know how to say Cheshire, so I can't trust him. Because I'm pretty sure I missed Cheshire. I figured it was like Yorkshire that I'm mispronouncing when I said Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
Sorry, Gafani and Benny. Anything else on Alice in Wonderland before we go to...
When you see her drop through, like down the rabbit hole, and you see the clock falling, and what is the clock doing? It is speeding up the time, and then in one aspect it is rolling back the time. So we have the speeding up going forward, and we have, you know, the slowing down going backward, which I find is pretty interesting because in my opinion right now, with all of the shifts that are going on and the solar flares that we've been experiencing here on the planet, time has sped up significantly. I'm sure many of you have noticed this. This is something that when people come for spiritual counseling and things like that, they're all talking about it. They're all saying and asking me questions about where has the time gone, because they can't get things done like they did before. But none of us can. None of us can. We're in this kind of weird place right now So I think that's really interesting too, because it kind of plays into where we're at right now with the time speeding up so much.
Mhm. I love this comment. Impossible has a clue in the words. I am possible. That whole I am thing freaks me out because there's so many times that I like say, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that. You have to be careful. There's words you should not say. And that is the I am is special. The I am has been used for so long, so just be careful what you put after the I am
Yes,
because it
please.
matters.
Because here's what who sent that message, Chris?
It was K9. Yeah, here we go. K9.
Okay, K9. Thank you so much for that comment, because it is extremely important to know this. And this is something that I've taught for years, the importance of how we speak to ourselves through the I am, or whatever the I or the we or whatever that is, because it's actually for every chakra. And as we shift our consciousness, we step into more of that. So when you put into the universe, I'm so stupid, like we've all done it. We've all done it, K9. And so this is why I'm sharing this, because it's a really good point. When we put negative things out, and we're just going through it and we're not even really thinking about what we're saying. Do you know that that goes right into the universe, and then the universe will give you that back? So the universe will do whatever it is you're putting into the universe, good, bad, or indifferent. Something that I teach all of the time and I ask people to do, the best thing you can do for your soul, for protection and for connection to the divine realms and your soul, spirit, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything being energy, frequency, and vibration. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror and do the I am affirmations and fake it till you make it if you can't think of anything nice to say to yourself. But look at your eyes, do this for like 3 minutes a day. I promise you this. Things like, I am love. I am worthy of all that is good. I am a divine spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Just things like that. And when you do that, if you do that, all of you do that for 30 days, I promise you, once a day for 30 days, you are going to get an incredible gift from your soul at the end of that, because your soul is going to thank you, because too many people forget that they have a soul that their avatar encapsulates. We have to remember that, because it's the soul is the reason why we're here. And it's the soul that holds the mission and the love. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you, K9. Thank you, Chris, for letting me just explain that, because it's such a thing for me. It's just such
these are important. It's really important. That's why I wanted you to talk about it. So I brought it up about the I am, because it just really matters. Lulu Valentine, to remain positive. It's so hard at times. It is, but it's worth it, honey. I know it's, sometimes you have to be in your feelings, to come out on the other side. So you got to kind of fill out and go away and come back. But it really does work. So we got 2 more stories. Two more stories. Yeah. It's your turn. Are you ready?
Yes. Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. It's time for the Lost Boys, mermaids, pirates. Again, a kid's story. Go ahead.
Yeah, and actually really, really incredible. And to me, this reminds me of hanging on to your inner child. Okay, the importance of that. It rings so true in this movie for me personally. So this one was created in 1953, and it is one of the most magical, whimsical films that Disney ever created. On the surface, it's the ultimate playground of imagination, of flying, and of adventure. But beneath the pixie dust, remember the pixie dust? Yes, Peter Pan contains some incredibly deep psychological truths, alongside some of the most profound, melancholic, and esoteric symbology in all of folklore. So we have some positive messaging that I'm going to go through now, and then we'll get into the hidden symbology. While Neverland is a place where you never grow up, the movie actually has some beautiful things to say about family, about maturation, and about the power of the mind. Personally, I coach people to reconnect to their inner child and hang on to that. I actually do that on the regular. There is a big power of belief and imagination in this movie. To fly, all you need are happy thoughts and a little pixie dust. Don't forget the pixie dust, but the happy thoughts, right? It's a wonderful metaphor for the law of attraction and mindset teaching, for us to know that our internal emotional state directly dictates how high we can lift ourselves above the heavy, mundane trials of life, right? We're all trying to pull ourselves up. The world has gone batshit cuckoo, and we got to try and pull it up. So we also, in this movie, we see embracing the necessity of growing up. Although Peter reflects adulthood, Wendy's journey is about realizing that growing up is beautiful and a necessary adventure. By the end of the film, she is ready to leave the nursery and embrace maturity, carrying the magic of childhood in her heart without being trapped by it. The boundless loyalty of family, even when the lost boys, Michael and John, get swept up in the wild, rules-free chaos of Neverland, the underlying tether is always their love for home and their mother. The movie highlights that a mother's love and Wendy's role in this movie as a maternal figure provides the emotional security that children need to feel safe while exploring the world. So when we face fear with wit and courage, we are shown in this movie that Peter and the children constantly face Captain Hook and his pirates. And instead of being paralyzed by fear, Peter uses humor, agility, and quick thinking to outsmart his enemies. Little smarty pants, I'm telling you.
Yep.
I know, right? It teaches kids to face life's bullies with confidence rather than submission. And now we're going to go into the hidden symbology angle.
Go ahead.
Well, this narrative transforms from a lighthearted children's story into a deeply esoteric allegory about the soul, the time, and the afterlife. Peter Pan as Hermes, that's interesting, right? In ancient mythology, a psychopomp is a spiritual guide who conducts souls to the afterlife, like the Greek god Hermes. A darker, long-standing theory suggests that Peter Pan isn't actually a living boy, but he's an angel or spirit who guides the souls of deceased children to heaven, Neverland, so they never have to grow up. Imagine that. That's so interesting, right? I just find that really, really interesting.
No, it is.
The directions to Neverland is what? The second star to the right and straight on until morning. They heavily mirror esoteric descriptions of navigation, the astral plane, and departing the physical body. Most of us all travel astrally once we go to bed at night. So this is like huge to me. We also have, if you think about the crocodile and Saturnian time, Chronos, right? We're talking about Chronos.
Chronos.
Captain Hook is utterly terrified of the crocodile that swallowed an alarm clock. In hidden symbology, the crocodile is representing Kronos, Father Time, or Saturn. The ticking clock inside the beast is a relentless reminder of mortality. Hook, representing the ego, and the corrupted adult world, is constantly hunted by time itself, knowing that eventually it swallows us all. And I found that so interesting. And then I kept seeing in my head the crocodile in the water, and the clock is just, and his head is just,
TikTok. Yeah.
that was so funny.
I
Anyway,
love those movies. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. So then we have Neverland and the astral plane, or the Matrix. Some theorists have viewed Neverland as a simulation or a pocket dimension of the astral plane where thought instantly creates reality. And in this interpretation, Peter Pan is the demiurge, or the master of his realm, keeping spirits trapped in a state of perpetual childhood and memory loss, as Peter famously forgets his adventures and friends almost immediately, preventing them from spiritually evolving or reincarnating. The shadow self, the movie starts with Peter literally losing his shadow, and Wendy has to sew it back onto his feet. Do you guys remember that?
Remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So in this psychology, the shadow represents the hidden, the repressed, and unconscious parts of our personality. Peter's struggle to control his shadow symbolizes a fractured psyche, someone who wants the light and fun of life, but refuses to integrate or take responsibility for his darker, deeper, unconscious self. Our minds in watching these movies, to me, can stretch our adult minds in so many fascinating directions. Peter Pan was just unbelievable. It's such an incredible fantasy because, you know, I've always loved mermaids. I've always loved the inner child and the astral travel. I mean, Tinkerbell being the fairy, I'm all about, you know, the fairy dust and the fairy trees. And so this is incredible. And that's my take on Peter Pan. I hope you enjoyed it.
I love it. Loved it. I mean, there's so many versions of Peter Pan that have been made, but that it's still the same thing. The fact that all these movies were teaching us about the power of the mind, manifestation to fly, or power of the mind for astral travel. I mean, it's like they were teaching us the whole time that we were powerful to do this, yet we focused on the control piece. We didn't focus on the power part. We were like, oh no, that means I have to behave. I have to behave because I don't want to be like the Lost Boys. I don't want to go into a land where, you know, it's just wild because it taught us so much, yet we didn't hear it.
Exactly.
We picked up at the surface level, and I know that our brains catch up. It's in there. It's in there because we watched it.
And now it's just reconnect. When we revisit, we're kind of reconnecting and then pulling those pieces out, going, oh. You know,
it was so fun. I mean, down to the guy losing his marbles.
Yes.
He lost his marbles. It's like he went crazy. He lost his marbles. It's like, oh, the marbles. I just love that, you know, that I can't even come up with a word, but you know what I mean? It's like the marbles, all the stuff, the crocodile, the time, inevitability, you know, Captain Hook being adulthood. It's just, it's a wild story.
Smeagol.
Yet everybody remembers, and, you know, flying out the window, jumping out your window. I'm like,
right? That's a
so many kids actually do this. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just, the more that we go through these, and we're about to go into our last one, all of them have the same stuff.
Absolutely.
We just only picked up at the surface. which is usually where we're at.
Yes, every single one that we've spoken about and the next one that we're doing, they all have things that connect to the same type of thing. And when we look at that as an adult and we see the manipulation and the stuff that went into our subconscious without us agreeing to it, they didn't have our permission. It just happens that way, right? And then now, as adults, we have to take that information and we have to dissect it and pick it apart in that dissection so we can figure out how to move and flow forward in a different energy and vibration and frequency, in my opinion.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, we don't know what we're feeding our brains
Exactly.
with and what it's doing and what our minds are being clogged with. Is it causing more amnesia or is it really causing awakening?
Exactly.
Okay. And now, without further ado, our last story of the day. I know we've kept you here a while, but it's been fun, right? I want to see fun in the chat. Okay. So the last story of the day, Monsters Inc. Oh yeah. Monsters Inc. Pixar. The movie premiered September 17th, which, by the way, September 17th is my day. This is crazy. I just realized. Yeah, September the 17th it means so many things to me. And I just saw that. I was like, okay, September 17th, 2001. Positive themes in the movie. So that was right after. You know what it was. Yep. So anyway, positive themes in the movie. Friendship. Joy is more powerful than fear because the laughters are more powerful than the screams. So, and again, this is going to go into some real dark stuff. From harvesting screams to harvesting laughter, as they discover that laughter is 10 times more powerful as an energy source. I totally believe that. Yes. Anytime you laugh, it relieves all your woes. It is a break from the crazy. It is a break from the madness. When you get to laugh, all of a sudden it's like everything is, I don't know what Rich New decided. I'll get back to you in a minute. Positivity and connection over fear mongering. The things we fear are often just things we just don't understand yet. And that's a really important one. Monsters in this case were the friends, right? Most of the monsters were there to they were doing their job. They were collecting their screams. They didn't know why. So they went about their day. I love their exchanges while they were out on the floor, next to the water cooler, right?
That's so funny.
The villain, Mr. Waternoose, represents a corrupt system, one willing to kidnap children due to the energy crisis. The monsters, Sully and Mike, stand up against corruption to protect the vulnerable. Sully ends up a gentle beast with love. It's funny because Sully's such a, looks like a tough guy. Gentle beast with love and nurturing to protect the little girl. Things are not what they seem at the surface level.
Exactly.
Now, the hidden symbology, and we'll talk about more. The all-seeing eye. Mike Wazowski. The all-seeing eye. Of providence or Illuminati, elite, surveillance, or hidden control. And honestly, it's out there, but Mike was such a lovable character.
Yes.
To embed the seeing eye with symbology into that character, that's kind of what we would expect out of,
right?
The scream extractor and the link to adrenochrome. So harvesting a child's terror for a physical energy source and source for the fountain of youth. So a lot of people have heard the links between this story and a lot of what's happening in the news right now. So, I'm not going to get too much into it, but basically that's, think about what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were getting fear. And fear has power.
Mm-hmm.
Fear has power. Fear has power.
Mm-hmm.
They're just overripe. Predictive programming and dimensions. The closet door is a metaphor for multidimensional travel or a holographic universe. The concept of hidden entities slipping in and out of this reality from other dimensions or timelines to harvest human emotional energy. So, the Pixar theory, the witch connection, the theory that Boo grows up. I love this. I kind of like this theory. It's kind of creepy, but the theory that Boo grows up, becomes obsessed with finding Sully again. She masters the door magic and travels back in time to become an old witch in the movie Brave. So they actually link her. In Pixar, I think we should have an entire thing on Pixar theories
Yes,
because there's
absolutely.
so many theories that are linked to the Pixar, movies that we watch every day. So
Mhm.
check out the witches workshop in Brave, and you will notice a wood carving of Sully. This is not a malicious conspiracy, but one that implies a lifelong reality bending obsession. Every Pixar movie has a hint. They have
Mhm.
breadcrumbs everywhere. So talk about symbology, hidden symbology. This is the place, this one's got so many. The doors, meaning thresholds that you can move between, talking again, travel, astral travel. The doors were in and out between two totally different worlds. They were telling us we could travel, you know. The
Portals, portals.
screams, portals, exactly, portals. Even they look like portals.
Maybe.
The child being innocence, empathy, transformative presence. She was there to, it's funny because she was so innocent and happy with, her monsters. She just didn't even get what was happening.
Kitty, Kitty.
Hey, Katie, she was so happy. And, she was just, I cried so many times during this movie.
It was a
It's,
great movie, actually.
it's, um, trying to think the bedroom childhood anxieties. Think about reminding children that monsters in the closet, like that's the ultimate fear. Monsters under the bed, monsters in the closet, monsters anywhere.
Mhm.
But again, some out there, including myself, had sleep paralysis and saw all kinds of crazy stuff up on the walls. I
Yes.
remember seeing the monsters. They were like big spiders, black spiders in the corner like huge spiders in the corner of a room. And then you see movies like this later on, so many years later in your life, and you're like, well, yeah, they've been scaring us all along. Go ahead, son.
Well, and what about what our parents used to say to us when they'd tuck us in? Sleep tight, don't let the
Don't
bed
let
bugs bite. It's like, whoa, whoa, what? What?
what
Where are
bugs?
bed bugs? What? I'm going to get bit while I'm sleeping? Like,
I'm not
so
sleepy now.
as a little kid, I was the one that was like taking all my sheets off and making sure there was no bugs in my bed before I'd go to sleep. I'd be tucked in, and then it was like they'd leave, I'd turn the light on, checking all the sheets, checking in the closet, checking under the bed. My parents
Mhm.
freaked me out with that stuff, like just not with intent, but just
Mhm.
because if you're conscious in your thoughts as a kid, you're just like, wow, what? You're telling me I'm going to get bit by bugs in my bed? So, how do you sleep
Yeah,
tight? How do you
rocking
sleep?
my baby on the treetop. When the
Oh,
wind blows, the cradle will rock. It'll fall, and the baby's gonna die. Because that is how we were born, like we were raised. This is
yep.
really scary. So, original design. I'm going to call up a couple of comments. So, laughter dilates the blood vessels by 20%, lowering
Absolutely.
blood pressure. Exactly. And there's a sense of pause to the madness when that chuckle, especially when you guffaw. It just feels so good. Lulabelle loves Monsters Inc. I did too. I did too. We'll talk about 2319. Have you guys seen the James? Talk about crazy conspiracies. Go check out James Franco 2319 on TikTok.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
getting crazy. Ruthie, she was 12 in 2001. Oh my, am I old? Um,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hello. Oh,
and we would not be sharing how old Akashi was in 2001. No, we won't go there. We just won't. The fear in the children was used to feed them or feed their world. Exactly. It's like one world had to survive.
mhm.
But that's because they were lied to. The
Yes.
monsters were lied to and told that fear was the bomb when it
Mhm.
was laughter that was the bomb. If they would have known that to begin with, none of that would have happened. So, Ruthie, yes, our parents should say our imagination. Our parents should say our imagination go to sleep. It's eyes tricking us. In reality, maybe we are seeing something. I totally believe it. And I'm trying to remember. We didn't have the same. Puerto Rico. Ruthie and I are both Puerto Rican, and we didn't have the same. We didn't have like English, like a lot of the nursery rhymes. I
Oh,
didn't. Maybe you did, Ruthie, but I didn't because I was in Puerto Rico and it was everything was in Spanish. So I didn't actually like my
some
my
of those.
nursery rhyme thing is Ender Dice Clay. And that's the one that introduced me to nursery rhyme. Let's see. For the eye is the portal to all you know, reflection of time. You're not mine. Damn, deep thoughts by
Thanks,
Timmy.
Tim.
It's so good to see you, Timothy. Our parents would tell us that it's our imagination and their eyes are playing tricks on us. Maybe we were actually seeing these things. Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, you're dreaming, honey. Go back to bed. Go back. I used to be standing going, there's something on the walls. And they would walk in and just kind of, it's little bit. There's nothing. Look, we look under the bed. There's nothing there. Exactly the story here.
Well, can I say too
Yes, please.
that when we are born into this realm, we are completely plugged in to source and the divine realms and the other side of the veil. And through all of the earthly things, the matrix things, children are put to sleep, right? So with fluoride, with you, we know all of those things. So
Mhm.
when we think of that, children stay awake anywhere from birth to about 7 to 10 years old. And if you are born into a family that actually will push you to your creativity and your imagination and not make you feel badly for seeing things or having conversations, it's like the thing, oh, Johnny, just ignore Johnny, little Johnny, because he's crazy because he has an imaginary friend. And every family that I have counseled with children, I tell them, stop doing that, because they are really seeing it, because we are
Mhm.
plugged into that as children. And we want to embrace that as a child. And we want, as parents and grandparents, to turn that around and say, well, what does your friend look like? Does your friend have a name? What kind of things does your friend talk about? Things, and make it a positive thing, because the more positive we can do this for children, the better that they won't go to sleep. And I mean, all the children coming in right now are crystal children, and we want to keep these kids awake. We do not want them going to sleep. So it takes a village, right? And we have to be cognizant of the things that we are putting out there. And we want to keep children on the planet connected to their inner child, but also highly connected into the other side of the realms.
I'm listening to you, but something just struck me. El Cuco. You're right. Everything was El Cuco. That was the way that used to scare us in Puerto Rico. El Cuco. El Cuco's going to get you. El Cuco. And it's not cuckoo. It's Cuco. Okay, the Dice Man. Yes, the Dice Man. I'm not even going to say the one that stuck in my head. I already put in the chat. I'll just bring it up. Here we go. This is all that's going in my head right now, and I'm not going to say the rest of that particular little Dice Man cometh.
Yeah.
Nursery rhyme. So here we go. Yes, encourage creativity. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Barely Brunette. That's awesome.
He's got it.
We all have creativity within us, and we all have to be operating out of that creative. So find it. If you don't know what it is, look for it and pay attention, because that we are so creative as souls, divine souls, and we need to be plugging into that, and we need to plug our children into that. So that's awesome. Hickory dickory dock. Absolutely.
There you go. Oh my God. Yes. That's what. Thanks, Eric. Now that's all that's going in my head. Thank God that was the last story, because I can't keep it together. But I'm trying to think. There was something I was going to say about that last one. It's like, but no, Little Miss Mustard sat on a 10-foot. If you heard Kurt's away, a spider. Then came a spider and sat down beside her and said, "What's in the bowl? Me?" I can't do the cigarette around the head thing that he did, because
Yeah, that
I'm not
was
that
crazy.
flexible anymore. I am
Yeah.
flexible like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that concludes our stories for the evening. But we got so many more that we're gonna our outro today is actually a preview of the next. So don't leave because you want to see the stories that are coming up on the next episode. We already have all those ready to go. She hasn't even seen the video yet. I can't wait to see her, like what she says about it. I'm so excited. Uh,
Me too.
so what? Let's thank the chat. Anybody have any other last thoughts before we wrap up
Well,
the
could I
things? Yes, please.
I just want to say, well, let's go through the chat and then I'll say
Yeah.
what I want to say.
No, just I mean, we're gonna just say what you have to say, and then I'll scroll through the chatty.
Well,
Go to
I
the
wanted to
chatty.
say in closing, guys, number one, when we look at the hidden symbology in all of these movies and what these symbols and information mean, we have to remember this. And you can look this up. Don't take my word for it. It's out there for everybody to know that, you know, there are part of the military complex and the Pentagon that actually have to approve this stuff. No movie can be put into the theaters or out unless it's approved, because we all know the dark side of it. They do have to tell truth. Okay, so they have to put truth out there. Doesn't matter what type of, like, what form that truth is in, but they have to do that. So it takes people like us, the conspiracy people of the world, that we know these conspiracies are true. And it takes people like us to come together and have these conversations to say, whoa, we know what you were trying to tell us in that. And the other thing I wanted to leave you all with is, for all of us that have been made to feel crazy in our lives, wear that crazy like a badge of honor. Because I'll tell you this, every time in my whole almost 60 years of life, when somebody's called me crazy or nuts, I say this: thank you. I will wear that like a badge of armor or a badge of honor, because I will take my crazy any day over your so-called norm, because I don't want to be like those people. I don't. And we are the way we are for a purpose. And hello, XJ. Nice to see you,
It
brother.
says in the house. So my closing is gonna be a stretch on the creative part.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe we are one with the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we create, we expand that universe, and I think that is what it wants us to do. We gotta keep creating. When when you become stale is when everything stops. And it's like the more you create, it's like I think it helps my flow personally. And it's a good thing for me because otherwise I can just stir in my own crazy all day long and think about it as just useless crazy versus my Loki in my head that comes up with crazy stuff, which I am going to show you guys one of those things because I think it's relevant and very important. One of the things that we're going to talk about here real quick, first of all, there's the Cat Mod Squad coming up this Wednesday. So make sure you catch the girls. Everybody that's been on the chat, there's a bunch of the girls that are on the chat are going to be on this show on Wednesday. Let me see. What else do I have? Oh, yes. This one? No, that's that one. Okay, so we got the Mod Squad. And one of the things I've been obsessing about the brain lately. And this whole show keeps reiterating that I'm going down the right path, which is understanding your brain helps you understand how you are, your brain's doing stuff in autopilot in there all the time and you don't know. And it's really important that we're all aware. So part of my gift to society, it's so special, is the cerebral circus. So Cab has everything. I have cerebral circus. It's a short show. It is little vignettes about how your brain works under different circumstances. And I'm going to introduce you to one of the characters. They can afford it, kid it. Yes, Tim Freestone. Actually, hold on, please. Amy gave me, he made me a fork. It's a piece of love, and it actually says, I forking love you on the fork. And I have used this fork as like a raising your hand thing. So thank you, Timmy. I keep it here always. So as my own PSA, I want you to understand your brain. So here is one of the characters of my show, Hippocampy, the hippocampus.
Welcome to the Memory Archives. I'm Hippocampy. Some memories stay up front, and some hide in the subconscious backroom. Nothing gets lost, it just gets filed weird. You meet someone and think, something's off. You may not remember why, but your brain does. It searched a much bigger file and sent you the warning before your conscious mind caught up. So next time something feels off, trust your brain. Your conscious mind may not see the full picture, but deeper down, your brain does. The more you know.
The next episode. So the first episode that I did was Disclosure Day. I'm thinking about dumbing it down a little bit and doing something like, okay, I need to do it about embarrassment. Okay, I need in the chat opinions, farting during a meeting or farting during a first date. You pick the topic for the next Mind for Cerebral Circus, in which I will show you the things that happen in your brain when that happens. And I will be introducing new characters like the network system of humor. Rough comedy consultant. Is it my turn? He's gonna come into the play. I was thinking, I was inspired by Hugh Laurie. So I was thinking that he would be like a smoking rough clown. He's kind of sarcastic. I might be taking, anybody want to do a voiceover for Hugh P. Murr? Let me know, because I will be doing all kinds of cartoons. It's going to be a whole spinoff, and he will be in the show to talk about how to deal with embarrassment, which I think we can all learn from that. It's been a pleasure. It's been so nice. Let's say hi, good night to the chat before we play our outro, which is going to be our next episode that we do here. Oh, wait, well, one more thing. Very, very important. We got a show coming up with the cabbies. Where is it? Where's my AI show? It's not there. Okay, so on the 28th, we're actually going to be hosting Calling All Beings here, Mindford. And we're going to be multi-streaming to Calling All Beings, and it's going to be a show about AI. And oh my God, perfect timing, Rich, because guess what I'm going to do at the AI show? We're going to spin the wheel of singularity. So we're going to be spin that wheel with all the cabbies, and then we're going to go around the room, and it's going to be so awesome. Oh my God, Barely Brune, I already have a taker. I can definitely do a voiceover. Yes. Cindy Singulet, the Singulet Cortex, and Madame Sula, the Insula, who, I'm going to explain the brain, because I think it's important to know that it's a bouncer. I always believe, I think of it's a club, right? And a bouncer's keeping stuff out and letting stuff in, and it's doing it on its own, and we don't even know. So the more we know, it's very important. So let's say goodnight to the chat. We had Lulabelle was in the house. Rich New Design. Timmy Freestone. Barely Brunette. Who I gotta get hooked up with you, girl, because we might need to do something here. XJ, thank you for joining us. Barely Brunette, I already said hi, but I'll do it again. We had K9 Mind Help. So good to see you. We keep scrolling up, scrolling. K9, yes, I got K9. Lulu, I love Eric. Love you, Eric. Ruthie Robles is in the house. My Boricua sister. Ruthie! We chat all day long on a text thread with all these girls. It is so fun. Rich New Design, my buddy, thank you again for being here. So good to see you after all this time. It's been so long. We had somebody here. Oop, no. Okay. Am I done? I think.
Richard,
Oh, yeah, I could.
Karen,
Richard. Yeah, I keep coming up with names to remember. Benny. Benny was here. Gonna say hi to Benny. And Law Wifey was here. DJ, Calling All Beings. The whole DJ and the Calling All Beings clan have been amazing. We're having such a good time collaborating and talking topics. Talk about a show. Yes, eight cabbies, all different backgrounds. It's like the best show because it gets perspectives from, and then we have Jay Boogie and Amy, and we're going to be doing all kinds of collabs, and it is a really cool, it's a good time.
Yeah, it is.
Captain Harris, so good to see you. So glad you were here, and I could just keep going. We've been here for like 3 hours. Wow, a good show. Okay, so if I missed anybody, Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob was here earlier. So if I missed people, I'm so sorry. But everybody that was here,
thank you.
Thank you for spending the afternoon with us. I said hi, Eric and Richard and everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we are going to play us off with our next show. Let's say bye. Mwah. Peace. Peace. And don't forget, love, all about the love. If somebody bugs you, love them to death. They won't know what to do with it. So we are going to play us off with a preview of our next show. Let's see if you like these stories that we have coming up. And don't forget to leave in comments if you want to see any story. Please leave it in the comments, and we will be happy to do that and to share, because sharing is caring.
Subscribe and just let us know.
Yes,
Keep us
like,
posted,
subscribe,
guys.
share. Calling All Beings, Cosmic Carousel, Mind Fork, collabing. It's all about community, and it's all about the love. So here we go. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.